So earlier on, we were talking about what to do when you or someone you know may be experiencing the New Year blues or going into a depressive state as a result of that reality that hits you at the beginning of a new year. And sometimes the cause of that can be an imbalance in terms of your work life and what you do in your personal life. So how important is it to get that balance together? We've got our counselling psychologist, Tamryn Coats, to give us some advice on that. And I think the first thing I want to start off with, Tamryn, is the fact that, I'm one of those people where I believe I enjoy my work so much that work and life are just kind of blended into one. So, question, how important is it to draw a line between work and personal life?
It's very important.
And why is that?
Because boundaries are very important, and when you start to enmesh work and personal life, that boundary starts to get blurred, and so other boundaries in your life will start to become blurred as well.
Yeah.
And whilst you might enjoy your work thoroughly at the moment, there may be a point where actually it doesn't become as enjoyable, but because you've blurred that boundary, it becomes far more difficult to differentiate between the two and then stand back and give yourself the personal time that you need.
Yeah, so how do we do that? Because life carries on, work carries on. How do you kind of plow yourself into your work and into your personal life, but also step back and know that the balance really isn't there and I don't know where the line lies?
I think it's very difficult, to be honest, in today's day and age. You've got smartphones that have work emails coming through right up until 1, 2 in the morning. And so you've really got to be quite cognizant and mindful about the fact about separating work from personal life. So deciding in the beginning of the week that you're only going to work up until a certain time. Obviously that may change during the course of the week if you have projects that are much bigger than usual, but making sure that you carve out specific work hours and then family hours. And a very simple thing is actually changing your wardrobe when you get home so that you really have a tangible change about leaving work life and entering your personal space.
Yeah, I've never thought about that because when I get home I'm still in my suit probably, and you kind of are subconsciously still in that work state, right?
Absolutely, yes.
But what's the worst that could happen if you are work-life person all in one and you don't know where what begins or what ends?
Well, I think that's exactly it. You start to have difficulty in deciding what begins and what ends, and so family relationships start to suffer from that. Significant partners start to become frustrated because you're constantly not present with them. Even if you are present in person, your mind is wondering about other things. And so family relationships suffer, your intimate relationships suffer, your health might suffer as well because you're not taking time to go to gym or to go for walks, or just taking care of your physical needs as well as your work needs.
Yeah. Well, most people spend, let's say, 9 to 5 at work. How much time would you say in relation to that is adequate to devote to your personal life that could give you that balance?
I think that's a hard question to answer because it really depends on what people's lives look like and the context that they come into. So I would argue that it would be better for you to individually carve out time, decide that because of the context of your work that you're only going to be working from this hour to this hour, or decide that every hour you're going to have 30 minutes where you just sit by yourself or you do something that you really enjoy. And that really relates to mindfulness, something that you can just sit and reflect, or something that can really help you stay grounded and present in the moment so that you're not constantly thinking what's next, what's next, what's next, which could lead to a burnout if you don't stop yourself.
And nobody wants that. I mean, some people go through that in the middle of the year and then for the rest of the year you're left being unproductive. But you mentioned some things about how people can start finding that balance. Firstly, just kind of stepping back and taking a look at your life as it is and as it flows. Secondly, you said when you get home, maybe you have a tangible change in terms of your wardrobe. What other advice or tips can you give with how people can find balance in their life?
I think it's a good opportunity now at the start of the year, and as cliche as maybe it sounds, would be to set some goals. To decide at the beginning of the year that actually I want my life to look like this over the course of the year, and so what changes can I make each day, each week, each month for the rest of this year to make sure that I have a holistic lifestyle. And if that is starting at gym or developing a new hobby that you know you're going to devote an hour a week to or 3 hours a week to, then that's great, then that's a change. And perhaps keep yourself accountable with someone else. If you've got a partner that is saying that you're so busy all the time, when do I ever see you? Then you say to that partner, I want to change that this year, and I want you to be the person who calls me into line when I'm not. Set a date night. For a lot of couples, because they're so work orientated, their personal relationship goes down the drain. So go back to the basics. Have a date night once a month, once a week, and create that space.
Once a month. How about once a week, please? Let's cook something together, baby girl. Okay, all right, that's brilliant. Thank you very, very much. I think we can all learn a little bit from that at the end of the day, that the quality of work that you put out is just as important as the quality of life that you live.
Absolutely, because the more replenished and the more holistic your lifestyle, the better you're actually going to perform at work anyway.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a hand-in-hand process.
Tamryn, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
Such a pleasure.
I think great advice to be getting at the very beginning of the year for you to start setting those tangible goals that at the end of the day can, of course, lead you to leading or to living a balanced and healthy lifestyle.